Good morning. So today we are starting a new chapter, register transfer and micro operations. So in this chapter, we are going to learn register transfer language, the language that uses notations to define the instructions. And we are also going to learn some micro operations, okay, such as register transfer, transfer between the registers, okay, transfer of information between the registers, bus and memory transfers, and we are also going to see the hardware implementation, okay, how it is implemented in digital computers. And then we are going to see arithmetic micro operations such as addition and then increment, decrement, okay, all these arithmetic operations, and logical micro operations, okay, such as AND, OR operation, exclusive OR operation, okay, all these micro operations are how these operations are performed. Then shift micro operations, okay, shifting the content of the register to the right or to left, and arithmetic logic shift unit, okay, arithmetic and logic unit that perform arithmetical and logical and also shift operations. Okay, so we are going to cover all these in this particular chapter. To start with register transfer language. So before learning what is register transfer language, let's find what is digital system. A digital system is an interconnection of hardware modules that do a certain task on the information. Okay, so it is the interconnection of hardware modules that accomplish what is the job, what is the task that is performed on the information, processing the information. Okay, so
Ma'am, please allow 577, ma'am.
okay. Yes, listen. So digital system is an interconnection of hardware modules that do a certain task on the information. So the task that is performed on the information is processing the information. Okay, but it is the digital system as a component. It is a component, okay, that is the interconnection of that combines many components. Okay, what is, so it uses a modular approach. Digital system design, okay, if you see, it uses a modular approach. Modular approaches, different modules are connected to make a component. Digital system as a component, if you see, the component that consists of many sub-components, that sub-components we call as modules. Okay, modules are sub-components, okay, that make up a one component. So digital system can be viewed as a component that is made of interconnecting some sub-components. Okay, so what are those modules? Okay, digital module. If you take a digital module is defined by the registers it contains, and there are operations, okay, that are performed on the data stored in these registers. So that make up a digital module. And the combination of all these modules or interconnection of these modules we call a digital system. Digital module is the combination of the registers and the operations. Okay, there are registers and the data is stored in the registers, and there are operations, information processing, right? Some operations are performed on the data. So that the registers the module contains and the operations that are performed on the data stored in the registers define the module. Okay, so how these modules are interconnected to form a component. Modules are interconnected with data and the control path. Okay, so there is the modules, okay, that contains the registers and the operations. Okay, the operations are defined. What are the operations that are to be performed on the data? And the control path. Okay, there are some control signals that initiates the operations. So this make up a digital computer system. So digital computer, okay, it is defined by specifying the set of registers it contains and their functions. Different registers perform different functions. Okay, we have learned in the initial class, there are registers such as general purpose registers that store the data. And there are other registers that store the instructions, correct? Instruction registers, program counters, like different registers perform different functions. A digital computer is defined by the registers it contains and their functions, by specifying their functions. The sequence of micro operations performed on the information stored in the registers, and then the control that initiates the sequence of micro operations. Micro operations need to be performed. That has to be, the operation need to be initiated. That is done by the control section of the computer. So these all defined by specifying all these, okay, components, the set of registers and their functions, the sequence of micro operations performed on the information stored in the registers, on the data stored in the registers, and the control, okay, that initiates the sequence of micro operations. These define the digital computer. So in simple terms, you can say a digital computer is, okay, defined by its registers, the registers the computer contains, the micro operations that are performed on the data, okay, that is stored in the registers, and the control functions that initiates these micro operations. And all these, okay, the different modules, hardware modules that combines all these, okay, makes a component. Now we have seen that registers and micro operations. What are these micro operations? Micro operations are the operations that are executed on data stored in one or more registers. Okay, these micro operations are elementary operations that is performed. For example, we performed multiplication, addition, subtraction, division, okay, and there are that particular operation. If you take multiplication, that function, that particular function the computer does is combined. It's a combination of many elementary operations. Okay, there are many elementary operations performed, and all together finally the gives us the result of multiplication. Okay, for performing multiplication, what all we did? We perform addition, okay, and we perform shifting the content of the register, shifting right, and we also did increment of the sequence counter. Okay, so the operations performed there are addition, shifting right, and increment. Okay, so all these are the elementary operations, okay, that make up one operation, one function. So these operations, the elementary operations that are performed on the information, okay, stored in the registers are called micro operations. So for any function of the computer, a sequence of micro operations are used to describe. Okay, a big function, if you want to perform a function, there are series of micro operations involved in that. Okay, so the result of the operation may be replace, if it is the transfer of information from one register to another register. Okay, for example, we add two numbers. After adding the content of the third register, okay, the two registers, the content of two registers are added, and the result need to be put in the third register. So whatever the previous information available in the third register need to be replaced by the new content. That is the result of the two registers we have taken. Or sometimes the result may be stored in one of these registers. So the previous content, okay, if A and B are added, okay, now the content of A need to be replaced with the result of A and B, no, addition of A and B. Okay, so it may be, the micro operation may be replacing the previous information of a register, or it may be shift the content of the register. Okay, like how we did here. If you see, this is the content of the register 101101110011. When you perform shift of operation, you get this. Okay, all the bits are shifted one position to right. This is shift right operation. Okay, so this is the initial state of the register. It's starting with 1. Okay, the information that start with 1 0, and when it is shifted, okay, you see the resultant register. This is the content of the register after the micro operation. Okay, so this one of this may be the micro operation. It may be adding arithmetic micro operation, or it may be performing logical micro operation, logical function such as performing OR, okay, and operation, or exclusive or inverting the bits. Okay, so these are the micro operations. So register transfer language, RTL, okay, it is a symbolic notation used to describe the transfers, okay, micro operation, describe the micro operation transfer among registers, okay, that is register transfer we call, okay, transferring information from one register to another. The language used to describe the operations, okay, operation used to perform that register transfer. That includes the symbolic notation, that uses a symbolic notation, okay, that is called register transfer language. So if you take the natural language English, it is a language for writing symbols, or any language, yeah, writing symbols and combining those symbols, right, into words. Words are formed, and then words are combined to make sentences, and it is done for the purpose of communication between the people, communication among people. Okay, and we take programming language. We use programming language, okay, for writing symbols that specify the procedure, that gives the makes up the procedure for some computational purposes. Correct, we can do computation by writing a procedure using symbols that are available in a particular programming language. Okay, the natural languages are used for communication among people. Okay, same way here, register transfer. Okay, register transfer is transferring the content of one register to another register, and we need to define the micro operations for that. So this register transfer language, using some notations, it describes the micro operations for transfer, okay, transfer among the registers. Okay, so here we have seen what is a digital system. It is an interconnection of modules. Okay, digital system we consider as a component, and that has subcomponents. Modules are subcomponents. So these subcomponents that do a certain task, like information processing task on the information. And if you take a component, a subcomponent, okay, it is defined by the registers. It contains registers and the operations, okay, that are performed on the data stored in the register. Register contains data, and the operations that are performed on the data, okay, that are stored in the registers define the digital module. And so many modules combined together, okay, are interconnected together, makes up a digital system. So digital system, digital computer is defined as set of registers it contains and their function, the sequence of micro operations performed on the data stored in the registers, and the control information, okay, the control signal that initiates the sequence of these micro operations. And micro operations are the elementary operations that are performed on the data, okay, that make up a function to be completed. For any function, there are sequence of micro operations to be performed. Okay, so some examples of micro operation, shifting the register content to the right, okay, is one micro operation. And or register transfer, transferring the content of one register to another. And the language that uses some symbolic notation to define the micro operations, okay, micro operation for transfer of information among the registers, we call as register transfer language. So here in this chapter, we are going to see how the symbols are defined for various types of micro operations. okay, and the hardware implementations of these micro operations. Okay, here is this is the introduction part, the register transfer language, and what is a digital computer. And now we are going to see the symbols, various symbols, how the micro operations are described using symbols, okay, and how it is implemented in hardware. The first operation, register transfer, that is transfer of one information from one register to another. We know the registers are used to, to store information and for the fast access or quick access of information. Okay, they have small amount of storage, and for easy access of information, we store, the processors contains registers. Okay, the data are stored in registers, and computer registers are designated by capital letters. Okay, the capital letters are used. Example, MAR. MAR is memory address register. Okay, this hold the address of the memory unit that is to be accessed. Okay, if a particular data is stored in a part of a memory, so that for accessing that data, okay, that information from that part of the memory, the address need to be specified. So this holds the address, memory address register hold the address of a memory unit. And PC is another register. Okay, some example registers are given here, how they are, the notation, okay, the symbols used to define a register. PC is a program counter. The program counter, this register holds the address of the next instruction. Okay, it is also called instruction pointer because it points to when a particular instruction is being executed, it points to the next instruction so that the execution happens in a continuous order in a, okay, so it is a register that keep track of the execution of instructions one by one. So when a particular instruction is being executed, this program counter will point to the next instruction, okay, that is to be executed. And the next one is instruction register. Okay, this is a register that hold the current instruction that is being executed. And registers can also be numbered. Okay, the symbols used to denote these registers, okay, can be capital letters and sometimes followed by numerals. Okay, when we use numerals to define the name of the register, when there are many registers and they need to be numbered, like R1, R2, there are general purpose registers in the processors. So these registers, the 8-bit registers, a byte, okay, it can store one byte of information. So these registers are numbered like R1, R2, okay, R3, like the number of registers, all the general purpose registers are numbered. So in this case, we use this notation, okay, capital letter followed by the number. R1 represent the first register and R2 the second register. And SR is another register that shows the status, information about the status or state of the processor. Okay, so these are all this is how the registers are represented here using this symbolic language. So if you take one register, here is a block diagram of a register. Okay, if you take a particular register, okay, the individual bits, flip-flop is a register that stores a single bit. Okay, so the parts of each individual bit of a register can be called as flip-flop. Okay, so these are represented as here. If you see, register is R1. The name of the register is given like this, R1. Okay, and the individual bits can be referred as, the position is 0, okay, 0th bit, and bit 1, we call this as bit 1, and the next bit is third bit of a register is called as, we refer as 2, okay, bit 2. And how these bits are numbered, okay, here the bits of the registers are shown, okay, 0, the bit 0, and this is bit 1, and these are numbered. If here is a register, program counter is shown in this, Okay, the name of the register is program counter that has 16 bits. Okay, so the 16-bit register program counter can be numbered as, we write it at the top. Okay, at the top of this register, 0, the 0th bit. Okay, and PC of 0, okay, PC within bracket 0 refers the 0th bit of the program counter, register program counter, and PC of 15 refers the 15th bit, as it has 16 bits. As this register has 16 bits, we have numbered it from 0 to 15. We partition the register into two parts. So PC that has the program counter that has 16 bits can be partitioned and referred this way. Okay, PC of L means the lower bytes of program counter, lower half. Okay, if you see the numbering 0 to 7, starting from 0th bit to the 7th bit. Okay, and from 8 to 15, these numbered bits are called PC higher order bits, higher order bits of PC. Okay, or you can also refer as lower bytes and upper bytes, okay, of PC. If you mention as PC of H, means the most significant half bits of a register, and PCL that refers the lower bytes, okay, are the least significant half bytes of the registered program counter. Okay, this is how registers are referred. Okay, we use capital letters and sometimes the letter followed by number, okay, to name the register. And here is register R1, and we show the individual bits like this: bit 0 and bit 1, 2, 3 and 7. This is the 8-bit register, and so we have bits from 0 to 7 and they are numbered. The register can be numbered. Okay, we write it at the top of the register. Okay, this shows the numbering of the register program counter. And it can also be the lower bits and higher bits also can be referred this way. PC of L defines the lower half bits or the least significant half bits of the register PC. And PC of H, within bracket if you write H, that refers the higher order bits of the register PC. So if you see this register transfer micro operation, okay, the micro operation register transfer that transfers information from one register to another. Okay, it is described by this operator. This is called replacement operator. Okay, the arrow used between the registers is the replacement operator. What this operation does, it transfers the content of R1 into R2. Okay, here R1 is called the source register. Okay, from where the information to be transferred is the source register, that is R1 here, and to where the information to be transferred. Okay, from R1 to R2, we have to send the information from R1 to R2. So R2 is the destination register. The operation used to show this register transfer is the replacement operator. Okay, we call it as replacement operator, the arrow. As the arrow is from left to right to left, we say that the information transfer occurs from R1 to R2. Okay. Okay, so here this particular operation, okay, denotes the transfer of content or information from register R1 to R2. So once this operation is performed, the content of R1 does not change. Okay, the source register will have the same information and it will also be transferred to R2. Okay, so what will happen in R2? Whatever the content is already there in R2 will be lost and it will be replaced by the content of R1. Okay, because we are transferring the content of R1 to R2. R1, the information will stay in R1, and then the content of R2, whatever the earlier content of R2, okay, that is replaced by the new data, okay, that is transferred from R1. So when this particular transfer happens, okay, it has to be triggered. It has to be initiated for this transfer or any micro operation to be performed, okay, it has to be done at a particular moment. So we need a clock cycle, okay, that that initiates it. So it happens in a clock cycle. So for initiating the transfer, we give condition, okay, we give conditions. Conditional transfer occurs under some control conditions. Example is if we want to initiate this transfer, okay, what we discussed in the previous slide, transferring the content of R1 to R2. This is the register transfer. It has to be done under the condition of P1 is, sorry, P is equal to 1. Okay, here is a variable, and when the value of this P becomes 1, we want this transfer to happen. Okay, so using if then statement, okay, we are used to this, right? Using if then statement in programming languages. So using if then, how we write? If P is equal to 1, then do this. R2 is, okay, replace R2 by R1. Okay, so the meaning of this is getting the value of, when the value of P is equal to 1, the value of R1, the data from R1 will be transferred to R2. Okay, so here what is this P? It is a control signal generated in the control section. Okay, we can call it as a control signal because this is a variable that is controlling the operation of transferring from R1 to R2. Okay, so this operation is controlled by, it is depending upon the value of P. If it is 1, this operation is done. So this is a control signal. So this is represented here as P colon, okay, R1 to R2. Okay, this P colon, the meaning of this statement, this instruction is P colon R1 to R2. Okay, this means transfer the content of R1 to R2, okay, when the value of P is 1. So here it is a binary condition, right? Binary condition is the condition that can have two states, 0 or 1, binary condition. Okay, it can have 0 or 1. So that determines when the transfer happens. When the value of it is 1, it will be the transfer will be done. We'll see how this is implemented. Okay, transfer of content of R1 to R2. Okay, with the condition that, okay, P is equal to 1. So here, if you see, this is register R1 and transfer the content of register. The operation is transferring the content of register R1 to R2. So the n outputs of R1, the output of R1 need to be loaded into the register R2 as input, right? So the n is a number of bits in the registers, okay? So the n outputs of R1 is connected to the n inputs of R2, okay? And here the control circuits that generates the, okay, value of P. When the value of P generated by this control circuit is 1, so when the value of P, okay, that is generated, this is a control variable P, okay, that is generated by the control circuit. When the circuit, okay, generates the value of P and when that is 1, the load of input, okay, into R2 will happen. This load input into R2 will happen when the value of P is equal to 1. So how to implement this? Okay, this n outputs are connected to the inputs of R2, and this loading this input into R2 has to happen only when the value of P is equal to 1, when the control circuit gives the value of P as 1. So to implement this, this is connected to the clock cycle. Okay, so the register R2 and this P is connected to the same clock cycle. So if you see this timing diagram, you will understand this. Okay, if you see this clock cycle, okay, you can understand this, that it has high edge and low edge. Okay, high edge of a clock is when the transition is from low to high. Okay, this is the low edge of the clock, and here is the high edge. Okay, so when the transition of a clock is from low to high, okay, we call that it is the positive transition, positive side of the clock. And then the negative edge, okay, negative edge or the low edge. We can also say that this is 1, high edge is defined as 1, okay, the value is 1, and here when it is low, okay, when the edge of the clock is low, so it is the negative edge of the clock. And at a particular time t, okay, here if you see the variable p is active, means it is 1 at this particular time. It is changing. Here the transition, okay, the status of p is changing at this particular time, okay, at time t. So this is one cycle. One cycle of a clock is from positive to, no, low to positive, and then again to negative. Okay, here it completes a cycle. So at the end of the cycle, it is observed that at time t plus 1, it is observed that the value of p is high. And here this particular operation happens. Okay, this particular point, at this particular point, the operation happens. Okay, this trigger the, this initiates the operation. Okay, so these operations are controlled by control variables. We initiate a control variable, and we the control circuit define the value of p, the control variable. Okay, so depending on the value of the control variable, the operation has to be performed. Okay, here we said that here our operation is perform this transfer when the value of p is equal to 1. So when it is 1, okay, we use a clock cycle to initiate, to trigger this operation. Okay, when it is at time t, okay, if the p, value of p is changing from 0 to 1 at time t. So at time t, if you see, it is 0. Okay, so in the next cycle, t plus 1, at time t plus 1, it is checked and it is observed that the value of p is 1. So here the operation is triggered. Okay, it transfers the contents of R1 into R2. R1, once the transfer is done, R1, register R1 will have its own content, and the earlier content of R2 will be replaced by the new content of R1. So they are the basic symbols used for these register transfers. We have seen capital letters, correct, are used to name the registers. Okay, sometimes letters followed by numbers. And here, so letters and numerals, okay, to denote a register. Example, memory address register is named as MAR, and R2, the general purpose register R2. And when parentheses are used, okay, when you want to denote a part of a register. Okay, for example, you want to denote some specific bits of the register R2, and 0 to 7 bits. Okay, the first 7 bits of R2. Okay, starting from 0 to bit 0 to bit 7. Okay, we can give that numbers, bit numbers, enclosing them in parentheses. Okay, brackets. Or, okay, as we have seen, when the registers are partitioned as lower and higher order bits. Okay, so when L refers the lower order bits and H refers the higher order bits of the register, okay, of the content. So here R2 of L refers the lower order bits of register R2. And when we use arrow for transfer of information from one register to another register, okay, when we want to transfer, this arrow is used. This is called a replacement operator. Okay, and comma is used when there are many micro operations, okay, given together. To separate those micro operations, we use comma. Okay, so here the first operation is R1, transfer the content of R1 to R2. and the second operation is transfer from R2 to R1. Okay, so here these two operations are separated by using comma. Okay, so these are the other symbols used when these register transfer micro operation instruction is given. So to recollect, the register transfer operation, 1 minute. So here the register transfer operation. So how the registers are defined by this capital letters and sometimes followed by numbers. MAR is memory address register that hold the address of a memory unit, and PC is program counter that hold the address of the next instruction to be executed. Okay, instruction register that hold the instruction that is being executed is named as IR, and the processor register, okay, the general purpose registers that are in the processor, okay, are numbered as R1, capital letter followed by number, and status register that show the status of the processor, okay, current state of the processor is named as SR. Okay, this is how the registers are named. And if you see the block diagram of a register, okay, we see register R1 here. It is named as R1, and the individual bits are shown like this. Okay, the 0th bit of the register and first bit of the register, the 8-bit register has 0 to 7 bits. And these can be, when the information is stored in the register, okay, the positions can be numbered as, the bits can be numbered as 0 to, here is the program counter PC with 16 bits. Okay, so the 16 bits are numbered from 0 to 15. Okay, from right towards left, we number from the rightmost bit from towards the left of the register, and we call the lower half, the lower bytes, okay, are referred with the letter L. Higher order bits are referred with the letter H. Okay, PCL refers the lower order bits. If it is the register with 8 bits, okay, first 4 bits are referred as lower order bits, and the next 4 leftmost bits, 4 bits are referred as higher order bits. So if you take the operation, micro operation, transfer of instruction from one register to another. Okay, this is the instruction R1. Okay, replacement operator R2, or you call it as, this is the arrow. Okay, we call it as replacement operator because this replaces the content of R2 by the content of R1. Okay, or in other words, we can say it transfers the content of R1 into R2. Okay, so when this transfer happens, the content of R1 does not change. Okay, but R2, whatever the old content of R2 will be lost, and it will be replaced by the content of R1. And this transfer, okay, these operations happens in one clock cycle and upon a condition. Okay, so the conditional transfer occurs only under a control condition. Okay, so we give, using if then, we give it like this: if P is equal to 1, then do this operation. Okay, so here P is the control signal that is generated in the control section. Control section generate the value of P. Okay, if the value of P is 1, this operation is done. And yeah, so here it is represented here as, the micro operation is referred here as P colon R2, the replacement operator R1. Okay, this means transfer this content, perform this operation when the value of P is equal to 1. Okay, the condition is P should be equal to 1. Okay, it is a binary condition because the value of P can be either 0 or 1. And this is implemented this way. the n, there are n bits in this registers, okay, R1 and R2. So n outputs are connected to R2, okay. But when the load, actual load input happens into R2, okay, the input has to be, the data or information from R1 need to be loaded into the register. Okay, it is connected and actual load happens when it is, the operation is initiated by the value of P, when P is 1. Okay, and it is done in a clock cycle. Okay, so the register and this P is synchronized with the clock signal. So at particular time t, when the value of P is high, P goes 1, okay, this particular load happens. It is, the operation will be initiated and performed. Okay, and the other symbols used. We saw this letters and numerals, and parentheses are used to refer the bits. Okay, in a particular register, you want to refer a particular bit. R2 of 7, okay, refers the 7th bit of register R2. Okay, or the series of bits, okay, 0 to 7, it refers the bits 0 to, from bit 0 to bit 7 of R2. And R2 of L, the lower order bits of register R2. R2 of H refers the higher order bits of register R2. And this arrow denotes the transfer of information. Okay, we have seen this. And comma is the operator. Okay, this is the symbol. Comma is a symbol used to separate when there are many micro operations given in a series. Okay, there are many micro operations to be performed and they are separated by using this comma. Okay, that's about this register transfer, how transfer is done and the hardware implementation we have seen. And the next micro operation we'll see in the next class. Thank you.